so let's start with the board. Okay, couple of housekeeping things you need to know. When it turns on, it's going to open up to something like this, if you have not already connected your device to it. So I'm going to disconnect my device for a second here, right, to show you how this is going to help you. Number one, you can turn this on and it will work as a digital whiteboard. If I launch Viewboard Lite, I have a digital whiteboard. I can do it the day before class, pre-class, whatever, and I can open up different slides, but I have a digital whiteboard. So if this is in front of your screen or your chalk, it's fine, just write. Put the steps up you want the students to do for that morning before class really starts, or put a quiz up there that they need to work on while you're doing your assessments on your laptop, okay? Now, when you're ready to connect, make sure that your laptop is ready to connect, which means don't have student data on it. Don't have things that you don't want them to see yet on the desktop, because what happens is when you connect, it auto switches. So you don't have to worry about, it's going to find it.
Okay.
This is
Okay, it should auto switch here in just a second.
yeah, but it's just there fine.
Wait for it. There we go.
Linda, you the last.
Now you see we've auto switched. So if I had something on my desktop, the students would see it immediately. That's why I say be very careful when you connect what's on your desktop, okay? Next, a couple things I like to show instructors. When you're doing a presentation, notice my background is very plain and generic. It's not distracting. I can go. What I did to do that was within Windows 10, I just turned off the desktop icons. So a little trick. When you're presenting to your students and you don't want them to see a lot of this that's going on, because now you're all looking, what is that, tampered with? What do you got up there on the screen? I can take all of that, view, and remove them, so it's less distracting. Pretty neat, right? And that's just a feature of Windows 10. Now, did you notice something I didn't have to do when I plugged the panel in, or plugged the laptop in? Do you remember where the smart board is? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, calibration.
It auto calibrates. So when you plug in the USB cable and you plug in the VGA or the HDMI cable to your panel, it auto calibrates. If it's a device that supports touch, it will auto calibrate. Again, we're making it easy for you. Make sure that you're able to go in and work. So, now, a couple things that we provide with the panel that I want to touch. So we provide a program called Viewboard 2.1. So to find Viewboard 2.1, you get here, I got to go to it. It's a little trick within Windows, touching a blank space, and it pulls up a directory. So
Is that just on the board, or is that?
it's within Windows.
Okay.
If I hit the V, there's my Viewboard 2.1, now I can launch my file. Part of my goal is to help speed you up so you know where you're at, right? You're using a lot of touch technology, so let's show you how to use that touch technology. So, we have a whiteboarding software.
You can pin it to this.
You can do that too, but if you can't find it, just remember, if you always do this, go to my desktop button. You hit this and go to a blank space out here, it gives you a Android. Okay, so Viewboard 2.1. We provide this as a complementary whiteboard software. Now, if you've already used a smart notebook and things like that, it doesn't replace it. However, I will tell you that when you're using Viewboard 2.1, we have a lot of teachers that were on Smart and Promethean, and they actually migrated to this, creating their own content, because you can create more dynamic content with HD images and some of the new things. And I'm going to go over some of the steps. So first things first, I'm going to go over the toolbar. And the ones you need to know first is, so that's your selection tool, that guy right there. And now my laptop has decided it doesn't touch anymore. There we go. That was not a board issue, that was a Lenovo, because it's not reading my thumb drives either. Okay, so we have a selection tool. Then we have our pen tool. So on the pen tool, it's not just a regular pen, we have actual brushes that you can choose from, right? So we have our regular pen brush there, big marker, highlighter, Chinese brush. This is a kind of like a highlight tool. Does that work? So now you can circle around and have something focus. And then we have, if you want to have some fun stuff going on, a little star brush, and then a reveal tool. So if I had a background of an image, how the little scratch things that students do to get
Scratch up, yeah.
all over the place, you can do scratch art on the panel without the mess. It's a great thing, you don't have to vacuum up afterwards. So, but what I like is you can change the tip size, so your point, colors, and if you don't like the colors, we have an infinite palette. So you can choose the right color of teal that you want to use, the right color of yellow. We have that palette for you. All right? Got the pen tools? All right, so the next is the eraser tool. So the eraser tool is we can do things like line erase and select, move things around. We can select what we want to erase. Or if we just want to clear the whole screen, slide to clear. Right? It's pretty simple. Next tool that's widely used, any math teachers in here? Okay. You'll get this one. So we have triangles, right? We're going to talk about area of a triangle. So I can put a perfect triangle up there. So now I want to measure that triangle. I'll show you this. I'm going to go into the tools in a second, but if we want to go into measuring, I have tools to do that. So I can now teach area of a triangle, angles, put a protractor up there, and do some neat things, right? Go back to the pen tool and ask the students, what is that angle? What is that angle? Then we can look at the area. Now, as a math teacher, you want space. So now you can continue to write. So I just use what I call the hand tool. So the hand tool activates the infinite whiteboard, which now I can just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I can make this as big as I want to. The only reason why I know this is math at the University of Alabama was this. The guy would write and he would move the dry erase board up. He'd write, move it up, and it was enough. How many dry erase boards does he have? Now the students go, how far does this go? So it's infinite. Now you gotta be careful, because if you decide to export this as a PowerPoint, as a PDF document, a Word document, the more infinite space that you've used, the smaller and smaller and smaller it gets. But it does help that if you're doing certain things like talking about angles and area, you can then bring that down and have a bigger board, right, to work with. So for math teachers, you don't lose your space for writing. You just keep going. The next tool, and I'm going to get back to this in a second because I want to show you some of the tools that we have for math and science. So we also have a handwriting tool. So yes, I write nice for a guy, and you're going to see this, but if I wanted to write, that tip's a little big on a pen, it does have script to text. So if you can write fast, it'll translate it. And then again, with this tool here, if I go back to the hand tool, you just grab that text, then move it, keep writing, and add it. So say you write something, and the student's like, how do you pronounce that word? At the select tool, I have a little menu that comes off to the side.
Jason.
So as you write it, it converts it, it will speak it. Pretty neat. So this is free that comes with it. But those are the basic tools that most instructors will use within the class.
Jason, let me ask you this. We put 24 out this year, we're putting out 30 some next year, and however many we can every year.
Mm-hmm.
Since that's free, Could we as an IT department push that out to the teacher machine so they can get used to it?
You're gonna wanna push that out to because the next thing I'm gonna show is will help every teacher regardless whether they have this board or not,
Okay.
okay? So as I get into the tools, so let's go down here. So the next bar that I wanna talk about is this bar down here. So this toolbar here has things like opening an existing viewboard file. So if you have this pushed to your device, you can actually create dynamic content through Viewboard at home on your off time, save it, and then open it later. And you can open it on any one of these boards. Or you can open it up, if you're even on a smart or Promethean board, you can open it up from your device and it will work as well. Okay, there'll be a few features that are locked because it's not attached to a Viewsonic board, but they're not, we don't lock the important features. We just, a lot of the fun tools like the handwriting recognition and some of the pen tools. We can import text documents. So if you have saved or copied and pasted text from the web into Notebook, you can bring that text in and just create this dynamic space. And I'll show you that in a second. We can export everything to an image. So it'll say each one of these little slides down here. So this is a deck at the bottom. So just like PowerPoint, it'll line them up. If I click export to image, Word, PowerPoint, or PDF, each one of those is a single page, which goes back to be careful with the infinite board because it will get smaller and smaller and smaller. We can print those slides to a printer and hand them out if we need to. But we also have, while you're at your home, we have a desktop preparation or presenting mode. So preparation gives you access to your toolbar at the bottom so you can create your content. So when you get into the classroom, change mode, let's go back to this mode, change mode to presenting. Now it's full screen.
So instead of using infinite, I would just go down and click plus and give me a new page created.
Correct.
Okay.
Now if you're on this side and you need a new page, you don't want to walk in front of the class, just hit the button down here and it'll switch the many bars. Okay? So the next tool is the desktop tool. So we all teach somehow from web pages from any given time. Now Microsoft has some great annotation tools and ties in with OneNote, and I think they're going to talk to you a little bit about that. So again, there's several ways to annotate with this board. It integrates everything with Microsoft. So if I hit the inking tool here, I can annotate over my web page. So it's not going to go out here. It's going to stay within the web page. Right? But with Viewboard, I'm able to hit the annotation here. I'm going to choose yellow, do a big marker. I can write edge, and go edge to edge. And I can save that, do it any color. So anything on the screen you can write and annotate over. Okay? Now, this particular, so let's go ahead and get that erased. This particular toolbar here, when you go into desktop mode, has your basic tools. It has a mouse mode, so that's your typical move around as a mouse. It has the writing mode and the erase mode, but it also has embedded some other tools in here. So if I open this up, we have some neat things that say you don't want to reveal the entire screen. So if you remember the grease pencil days, the teacher would have different things there as they're writing. We have that now, so we have the reveal tool. So you can now reveal at your pace. So that tool exists. And if you don't like the curtain background, if you go into the settings, you can change it to whatever you want to change it to. So you can change the background. All it needs to be is a JPEG file. Next tool that I like to show is the Spotlight tool. You only want them to see a certain section, right? So you can move that, or you can move the spotlight around. So if you want to focus on Viewboard is what we call it, we can put it there. If you need to move the web page a little bit, you can do that. So you still have control over it. You can make it as large and as small as you want to. You can even make it a square if you want it to be a square. It doesn't have to be a circle. So different ways to reveal to keep your class engaged with the product. All right? So the other features I like, need a clock on the screen, so if they can't read that one, they need a bigger clock. You have a bigger clock on the screen so they know what time it is. Countdown timer, have that on there, and it is loud, so you can have a countdown timer on the screen so they know, hey, you gotta get this done in 10 minutes. The feature, okay, before I get to that, webcam or document camera. So if you have a document camera connected, now you can have your document camera on here, and then you can teach and annotate and write.
So it auto selected the camera off your
Yeah,
laptop?
it does that. But if I had a document camera, I could do both.
Cool.
And I'll show you why that's cool in a second with this next feature. Because if I have both cameras running at the same time, it's kind of like I guess a podcast or a review video you see on YouTube. It can be my face talking to the student, and they can see what's going on with the document camera. So they get that somewhat of a personal interaction of what's going on, so it's not just blah. So make sure you're all ready for it. The last feature, and this is why you're going to want to push this viewboard to everybody, is the screen camera record. So what this does, in one of the videos we have, we talk about flipping the classroom. So screen camera will work on your device, it's not locked. So this is where we say, instructors, you can use this at home. You can do a 5-10 minute video of anything you do on the screen. Share it with the students through their Office 365 account and say you need to watch this before class, and then throw a quiz up in the morning. So let me show you how this works. So right now, you can see the microphone, it's picking up the microphone from my laptop. So it's going to use my laptop audio. If I need a camera on here, I can have it use my webcam, and I can have, that's not a good picture. I can have it with my face talking in the video. I'm going to turn the camera off, we don't need that. But as soon as I hit start, it's going to count down 3, 2, 1. And now anything that I do on the screen, including annotation, so I'm just going to use the Microsoft annotation. We're going to talk about our events. We need to look at that. You know, we've got projectors and IFB product. I'm going to go back into, I'm going to knock that out. No, I don't want to save the changes, but let me go into Viewboard. And we want to talk about we talked about this angle earlier. Let me select this whole group. I'm going to bring this back over here. Select the group again, make it larger. Now I want to pull up a toolbar. We want to show how to do the angle. So I'm going to go into subjects, math. First I want to do is do a ruler. So I want to know how long that line is. Now I can go across. That's 4.6. You see where I'm going with this, right? So a student, and then if I take this and rotate it this way, my line, so that's 3.7. So now it's 1/2. Please don't ask me to do that in my head, but then you can find the area of a triangle. Right? You look at me like, yeah, close. Okay, so if I hit stop, watch what it's done. And now anything that I do on the screen, including annotation, so I'm just going to use Microsoft Annotation. Pretty neat, right? So you can save, say you have a student that for some reason is out of class and you want to keep them, caught up, you could actually record your lesson, especially if you're using the board. No matter what's on the screen, as long as it's coming from your laptop.
So I can use my Elmo with my image mate pulled up and record what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Okay.
As long as it's going through your laptop.
That's a lot easier than the ways I've tried.
So what I've just showed you how to do is, one, create content for the students to use. I want to know how long. I'm going to turn that down but it catches it in real time. Share it with the students, share it with the parents. Again, short 5-minute video, to explain what they're going to see in the class today, to prep them.
Homebound kids.
And where's that video at now? Like how?
So when I click save, right now, it's going to save to my local drive. I just need to name it.
Now, some people are gonna have to be patient for these new boards, but remember, you don't need a new board for that. So I'll leave next week, we'll get that pushed out to everybody.
I actually have a video on YouTube that shows how to do this. It's mine. So yes, you get to see this again.
So if you knew you were like going to be out and you were going to have a sub for a couple of days, you could
Pre-do your lesson.
You can pre-do a lesson and just say, leave it there and just say
You
hit
can
play
use-
and have them.
there's two ways to do
Sorry.
that. That's an MPEG-4 file. Let's just say I put it on the thumb drive. It may work on this one, so I'm just gonna drop it here. I'll show you how this works. So let's say successfully. I'm gonna take this thumb drive that I borrowed. Now, to switch inputs on the panel, look at the Viewsonic right here. Hold your finger, slide up. So you don't need a remote control. I'm gonna go back to the embedded player for a second. I'm gonna plug this into the Android side. Once I plug this in, do you wanna open folders? Yes, so you could give that video to a sub on a thumb drive.
And you guys are all getting laptops that have webcams this fall. You have to be patient, we're working. You're getting one.
But think about that. Sub doesn't have your laptop. All the sub needs is your video.
Back into.
And they can play it on that.
Viewboard,
Is that beneficial?
and we want to talk about we talked about this panel earlier.
So,
Yeah, because it's-
there you go. And by the way, and I'll tell you, from a math and science side of it, even though my dad was a physics teacher and a chemistry teacher, and eventually a superintendent, math and science were one of those that just drove me crazy, and it was all repetition for me. And I will tell you, if a student sees this flip like this, or where they've got the video, they can just watch it over and over again. It may be third or fourth time they see it and try it, it just goes, I got it. They may not get it in the classroom in that hour, they may just get it. So it's a neat feature to have, and I wanted to show you this because I think it's one of the most important features that we give with the software. So,
Now, can you just remove that, or do you have to do a safely remove?
Of course, that's my thumb drive.
on the Android side, you can just unplug it.
Okay.
On Windows, I do it too, but before IT tells me don't say that, yes, you should safely eject
It's
your
your thumb
drive
drive.
from your PC.
Who'd you want?
I will tell you, this is my third one though, but there's probably a reason why it randomly reads and doesn't read USB drives. So do not follow my example. If you see me just pull it out. All right, so how do I change back to my laptop?
You know how to do something.
Try it.
That's all right.
Come on. You're on camera.
I don't want to be on camera. You've been on camera.
You've been on camera.
You've been on camera. Just put your finger down there and slide up, and I'm on HDMI 3.
You see how there's a little blue dot underneath of it? That'll tell you the stuff that's available too.
So, and I've got a way for IT, I'm gonna show them how they can rename the inputs. So if you have this hooked up a specific way, we can actually rename the HDMI to say PC or desktop.
Okay.
So they know which one they're going to each time. So that's an option that's in there. All right, so we saw the screen record. So that was part of it. So while I was doing the screen record, I went into some of the tools. So depending upon the subject, so let me shut this down so I don't have the bars. When we go into the toolbar, we have expression recognition, function draw, compass. Physics, it has some neat little diagrams that you can use those to help show how connecting points and how physics work. Please don't ask me, I will shut down here very quickly. But we have also two chemistry tools. So we have if I pull this out, let me just go to the page. One more time. So it's under subjects, chemistry, and pull the atomic structure out. So now I have this, and if I look at it, I can bring it to the front or the back if I'm writing content on it, and add this to a resource library so I can quickly get to it. There is, if you hit the wheel button, it will actually pull up the periodic table. So you can go into another and change it and see the structure.
That's awesome.
So there's that. But again, you Windows 10, right?
Yeah. And we're getting there for all the teachers.
Listen, there's some cool stuff with Windows 10. It's gonna work with this board. So we've got this part of it, okay? And I wanna show you some other neat tricks. So, subjects, now the toolbar. So the toolbars that were in that same desktop are right here as well that you can use within Viewboard. Again, I've got the screen wrap that I can use to reveal. Spotlight tool, timer, and the mind map tool, which lets you build. You want to build that out while you're, off time, not during class. It's a little difficult, but it's designed to help kind of guide you along certain lessons. I did it with the presidents on one of them a while back. And then we have here your resource bank. So this is where if you want to keep something, so I haven't done this in a while. So say I want to put this guy in my resource bank. I just click this, add the resource bank. I can give it a name and a keyword to easily find it. And then when I go back to my resources, there it is. So all I have to do is drag it out. Now, I'm going to show you what I like to use the resource bank for, and that is the science side is about to come out in me of parts of science I like. I don't like chemistry and physics. I like biology and things like that. So here's what I like to do. So I'm going to go to a new page. And let's get rid of this. All right. So when we open the web browser, I have access to Google. Now I could do this with Edge or anything else and drag and drop things, but there's a neat feature in here that lets me drag and drop content. So I'm going to use my laptop keyboard. So depending upon how you have this connected, the keyboard sometimes will pop up and will not pop up. And I'll need to get you the settings of Windows 10 to make it auto pop up, but it's seeing my laptop keyboard and it doesn't want to auto pop up the
Just hit
keyboard.
the keyboard on the button.
It has to do with my laptop. It's a Lenovo setting and I'm still working that out. So I want to type in here because I'm faster. Full Moon HD. All right, so I talk about the Smart Promethean software. It's really good, but some of the images are a little bit, what I like to say, 8-bit. They're not up to today's times. We know what students look at. So I'm gonna go to images, and what I like to do is pick an image that is high resolution. So what I'm looking for is a high number here. So like this is 1900 by 1200, so that's a decent resolution. Let's find one that looks good. Don't like any of those. What about that one? Okay, 1600 by 1200. I'm gonna view image. Nope. Hold on. Well, let me do another one. Here, we'll try this one. View image. There we go. All right, so there's the JPEG. So here is what I like to do to build content from our resource bank. All I'm gonna do is just drag this image. See where it goes plus? When I release, it's added. I didn't add it to the resource bank, just added it here. Let me add the night sky, so I want to put that one on here too. So let me add, I'll go back to this one. We'll go search. Night definition. Okay, so now we got high definition, nice sky image. So again, we're gonna look for decent one. That'll do for now. So I'm gonna go back to view image. Remember how I dragged it? Just, there we go. So it's in the background. So two things I wanna do. So I wanna make sure that stays on the front. So let's do its layering. So we're gonna bring that to the front. So that's always on top. I'm gonna take this guy right here, and notice how when I click on it, I still have this little text bar. I wanna make that my background, and I want it to fill the screen. So now the nice one. But I'm gonna teach about the moon. That looks kind of not right, correct? You got the black background? Well, we've got a tool for that. So now we can alpha mask it. Our teachers know what that means. So we go in here and hit the alpha mask tool. So just so you know what that was, I click on it. It looks like the little mountains with a pin. Third one down, I select the black area. Now I quickly made it. So if I hit my hand tool, I can actually take the moon and make it smaller. So now if I want to do fun things with the shapes, let's go back to the shapes, and I want to teach the phases. Make a circle. It's about the size. A little bit bigger. Okay. Now I can go in here and fill color, black. Now we can talk about the faces a bit.
Awesome.
That is more dynamic sometimes than some of the old created lessons within Smart. But these are the kind of things you can do on your time if you're going to create it and want to have, make these yourself. And have students come up and go, okay, let's kill that, go here. All right, show me a crescent moon. All right, you take the circle. Is that Wayne?
Solar eclipse
Solar eclipse.
coming up.
That's why I just said, it's so easy to use that, like, you know, you could use a piece of cardboard and a hole, and use the shape and slide it
Right.
in, but that would be,
Well, they could watch the great solar eclipse on television with this and
Mhm.
streaming.
Mm.
I'll be there in Greenville, South Carolina. So.
Mm.
you go in South Carolina.
Yeah. Weather permitting. I got my glasses, I got everything ready to go.
We got classes for the kids, for all of our kids at the school, so we're ready.
Yeah. Y'all have, is West Virginia getting totality?
83.4%.
He knows.
Yeah. So this is the kind of science I like.
Yeah. I teach 5th and 6th grade, but I do science.
Right.
So, yeah, this one's 83.4, 2024 will be in the 90s. So,
But what do you think about using tools like this and making it more dynamic?
I think it would be a lot better than using just the cardboard and the things that I'm gonna be using for this one.
Right. But I mean, creating stuff for the panel.
For creating stuff like
You
this,
use
like
it,
this.
and keep in mind, I used images from the web. And I like it because the content is so dynamic. I mean, if you needed to pull up the web browser and you had YouTube access to pull up certain things, I'm gonna tell you a couple of neat, there's a tool that I like to use for, I don't like using YouTube in the classroom. Several reasons. You get ads that pop up, and then maybe not so appropriate things that show up in the sidebar of you should watch this if you watch the eclipse. And it might be the wrong moon that they're showing instead of that moon. It might be, yeah. And we know what happens when kids go home and say that, and their parents come to the, yeah. It's happened. There's a program called 4K Downloader that's free on the web, and it lets you take the YouTube link and download those as MPEG-4 files, and it will allow you to import. So let me go in here. So if you were able to, download the YouTube video on your device, remember how we can import things? I'm going to import file. So now I can bring a video in to my lesson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about.
And now, anything that I do on the screen.
So now they can watch that
Annotations.
and do it at the same time.
Annotation.
Let me ask you this. I can export this to my students, whatever you're doing on the screen.
So the video part will not export, but all the other
Okay.
pieces and components that that you've written, so anything that you annotate here, and
So I would have to
that would go to.
export the video separately then.
Correct, but if you did the screen record,
That, yeah,
like I did here, then it would capture the video, the audio, all your movements, and you can send that to the student. So video within a video, with all your annotations, with all your movements, with your voice, then you can send that hour's lesson out to OneDrive, share it with the students, and they can watch it. They have no excuse to say that they didn't see it, because an MP4 file reads on everything. Any other questions?
Does it have its own, like built-in snipping tool, where if I had put up a PDF file, I want problem 2, snip it, it just throws it straight into one of those pages?
So let's do that, right? So I'm gonna go into a, let's see here if I've got it, let's close it out. You know what, let me just use the Viewsonic side. Yes, you could pull up a PDF, you could pull up a website with math problems, geometry, angles, and there's already a diagram you really like and you wanna use it. All you have to do is have Viewboard running. So first up, let me go to a new page so we make this easy to see. And let me change my background. So make the background change, solid color, let's go here. All right, so now let me go to my desktop. I want to snip a problem or something off the screen. I go to my tools, I go to snip. So now we have a snipping toolbar. So we got 3 ways to do it. We can do a full screen. Mine is the selective. I like to do this. So it's going to drop it right there into Viewboard. So you can do it. If you don't like that one and you need to grab just certain content, I can do the selective and hold it exactly the way I snipped it. And oh, by the way, if I don't like, remember this, if I don't like the background, go in here, I can remove any part that I don't want. So if you get a nice, with angles and chart, you can remove the white and just leave the black text on your background. So that you can take the hand tool at that point. Yes, you can. You really want to mess with students, you can read that. Any other questions? That was a good question, so. Like it so far? Excited?
So with this software, I'm just gonna do a quick unscientific poll here. Do you guys see any reason why we should continue to pay Smart Notebook $125 per teacher every 2 years?
Well, what happens to the teachers that have the pre-made lessons
Yeah,
that will
that's-
absolutely die if they
I'm not,
lose it?
yeah, I was saying, I spent 5 years building
Okay.
my library
So,
of files.
New boards that you have coming, this will be included,
Okay.
okay? This will be a part, this will be included. And then the old boards will have, they'll be, and we'll discuss that with CDW. I can't, there's some things with contract I can't do.
Okay.
But there is a, so
Videotape them.
there's a program we have called Octopus that will read Smart Notebook files. Now, again, it's in the O's, so my little trick to go to Octopus without having to scroll, hit a blank spot, O, actually it's Quizdom, so it's a blank spot, Q, there it is right there. I just love that little trick. I'm gonna load it. I can have Viewboard in this other program right at the same time, so it's not a big deal. So what I've got on my desktop, which is hidden at the moment, is a Smart Notebook file. So I can open, I'm gonna go to desktop, and this is by the way, this is a perpetual license, so there's no reoccurring fee.
$125 one time.
Yep, so I can go to desktop, scroll down, Smart Training, that's a notebook file. I had not converted it, done anything.
That's the one I did last year for you guys.
So I'm gonna open this, and it's gonna import your Smart Notebook file.
There you go.
Okay, so you can get rid of it then.
Slowly, but yes.
Well, I mean, it's like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
You can, you know, let's rip it off, but, you know, I don't wanna hurt you too bad, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So
Just give people a little
it
bit
renders a
more.
little bit, so it takes, so I wanted to show you, there was one thing here that, okay, so this is, what was the one that had it? There was one of them I did on here that I had to do a little editing. Ah, here it is. Okay, so notice, this does about 95% of the rendering, but things are still objects, and that's what's important. We wanted to make sure, most times when you export Smart or Promethean files, they tell you to do as a PDF, but what does a PDF do? You lose all your objects. So now, all I really have to do is a little bit of formatting. So I click here, bring that out. So I know I've got to fix this one too, so it's set. So I bring that back up, and now we're back to where we were. There may be a little tweaks you have to do with it, but you keep your Smart Notebook files. It retains all of it. Questions? Are you comfortable now?
No, I want one.
Well, let me tell you, and spread it, because I can't stay in here all day, but spread the news that we got 30 more coming, 33 or something like that more coming this fall. And they're gonna replace out people that have projectors in the ceilings and broken ones. I mean, as we can. I mean, 33 of them is gonna be like $85,000. So realize that we're gonna try to get as many as we can out to you every year. But the plan is that the smart boards are gonna go away. Tell them about the life of this board too.
So you're looking at 10 years. I mean, the nice thing is first off, what have you noticed that I haven't had to do in this classroom?
You have to turn off your lights.
Collaboration,
Turn off the lights, that's the main thing.
right?
I hate that about my stuff.
That window doesn't have a shade on it. And you can see it fine, okay?
Yeah, in the afternoon, I can't see my board.
It's gonna auto shut off. When it does not see, unlike the projector where it would just go dark, but it's still running, this will automatically shut itself completely off if it doesn't see an input for 20 minutes. I mean, it goes off, right? The next thing is pretty durable, so. Wait, what is the one thing now that I've moved it?
You don't have to calibrate it.
Yes. So to make sure I bring that point home, you don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, because, you know, I can only imagine, I'm looking at your wall, somebody bumps into that wall, I could possibly do the calibration.
It's not, I mean, 2 doors down could be slammed. That's how mine was at Long Drain. I would have to do it
Somebody
every
walks
morning.
up the stairs, the
Yeah,
air conditioner comes on.
Yeah.
The train goes by.
yeah.
And you don't want us to show students that we can punch them, right?
Yeah.
No, don't do that. So that's a bad thing. It's not, it's tempered glass, it's designed to be very durable. Now, cleaning it, we all know that this is going to happen. You have students that,
Oh, no, try plaster and paint and anything else that explodes in an art room.
that's one thing. I'm talking about the viral bacteria. It happens. I mean, you can turn this off and you'll look at it and go, that's a petri dish. Clorox sanitizing wipes, you know, like you use on your counters, are
Okay.
perfectly fine for the glass on the front.
Nice.
So that you can make sure that it's clean and you're not spreading germs or things like that. It's not going to hurt. So, you know, if you want to use, you know, just a little spray bottle of soapy water and a microfiber cloth to clean, that's fine too. But I like the Clorox wipes because you wipe them, they don't leave streaks, and it's done. And they're cheap. You get a 3-pack at Costco. I got a Costco around here.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean,
I know you get 4 for $5.
Yeah, so, there you go. Any other questions? Y'all should come up and play with it, if you haven't played with one yet.
I have,
Did you talk to them about 10-point touch?
Yes, it is multi-point touch, so you can have multiple kids up here at one time. So, 2 is ideal, depending upon age and size. I mean, if you get 2 football players up here, it's gonna be tight.
Yeah, I had a 300-pound kid last year. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's there, so let me add another page. But if I put a line down the middle here, so I'm gonna use it doesn't have multicolor pen, but you can set problems up or games up, and you can have 2 people on the board really at one time.
Some math races, that's where I learned how to do math, was like 4th, 5th grade math races.
too.
So,
Do that.
Yeah.
but there's neat websites coming out now with HTML5 that'll split the web browser, or you can put 2 web browsers up at the same time. So with Windows, you know, one of my favorite features with Windows is this. Let me close this out. So I'll pull Edge up, but if I snap a browser here, and I'll just have Chrome up over there. You can have 2 math pages going and 2 students can be working at the same time, right? And there's a lot of great content coming on the web for students to work and do quizzes. So yes, you can, for extended learning time, you can have both going at the same time and students collaborating. Whether it be something you create or something that the district subscribes to on the webpage.
And I don't work for Viewsonic, I'm not getting paid here, but I will tell you, last year, we had a lot of problems getting the boards that we got in. And I called Mr. Webster, and he had it sorted out for me in a couple days. And I went to ISTE this past summer, and I went to the Viewsonic booth. The guy that works on the software for this said, "What do you want different on this?" He took down notes and said, "Give me the quarter." So when you ask why we're going with this, that's why.
And by the way, I have that beta for you to start playing with.
Excellent.
So I'll email you the link. Is there any other questions?
By all means, guys, spread the words. If you have a broken board or you really need something,
Or no board.
tell your tech coordinator. The tech coordinator's gonna tell Ben, and that's.
So are you doing carts with all of them, or? Are you?
Yeah, we're doing cards from now on.
Okay.
And we're tired of people wanting to move their desk and everything else.
So I like the cart for a lot of reasons. It allows you not to front your classroom.
Yeah.
Split groups up. Some can use the panel, some can use their devices. Or they can use their devices.
I don't know if you know, no, Payne City's getting, the new
Yeah, we've
rooms.
got
Are we
boards set
getting
aside
new
for you.
cart? Okay,
They're
cause
already set
like,
aside. As soon as they say they're done, we're going down there and install them. We're
Okay.
never gonna install another smart board.
Rebecca is going to need one for the gym, cause she's gonna be in the gym.
It'll be on a cart when it's done. It'll be fine.
Huh? We have to set table and chairs up every day and take them down at the end of the day, cause they have volleyball game.
You guys should have seen, nobody's from Valley in here, but Valley High School last year had their graduation and class day ceremonies. And 2 of these went out to Valley last year. I think 2 went out there. On each side of the podium up front, they had these screens. So you know how they have like senior memories videos? I mean, these things are daisy chainable. So just think at your school, if you have LSIC meetings and the whole entire community's there, you can pull these out of the classroom into your gym, daisy chain them together and have a whole wall of video. Maybe I'll ask you some other time too. We were thinking about extending a desktop with about 5 or 6 of these in a row. Could you do really long ones?
So yes, so I would recommend making sure you got a powerful enough PC with the outputs on it.
Okay, so that's all we need.
So we've done 2 at the University of Georgia. So it was a professor, it was a bigger auditorium, but it was 2 panels. So the professor was mirroring what was on the panels, but the panels were also mirroring on 2 projectors that were on 150-inch screens. So this was a giant auditorium. So this professor liked to do this all the time. And so he'd walk and write on this board, but it was writing on that board, but the students could see it on the projectors. And that software you asked for, we're getting to where an instructor can write on the board and it's broadcasting to the student's device.
Yeah, that's a big thing Smart was pushing this past year. It's coming.
It's, yeah.
Octopus.
Does,
Oh, it's your
It does.
viewboard.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Josh, does Sean know, since we have the LSIC here this year, that you can use multiple boards like that?
I hope.
Okay,
She'll probably be in here today.
okay. So say, if not, she needs to know.
So there's so many, listen, I get caught up in a lot of, what the software does. It's first off, it's a panel, it's a big monitor. So whatever PC you connect to it, Windows 10 is gonna see it as a regular desktop display. I mean, you can still do, like right now I have my laptop turned off, but if I needed to and I wanted to say project, I wanted to extend my desktop, so I can still have my laptop as number 1 and desktop number 2. So I can drag this one up here. So I could have my students doing something here, but I can still have my laptop for things that I need to do.
You just made my day.
And without a laptop at all, we can go back to the on panel. It's like kind of like a big Android phone, really, is it not? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if
we don't have the internet hooked up to most of them yet because we're kind of short on drops and things like that. But you don't even have to have a computer hooked up to it.
The internet and so I'll go back to you brought that up, the Android. So the Android side of it is, remember, it can play. Let me go back here. I don't spend a lot of time on it because it's for whiteboarding. It's for playback of videos, playback of JPEGs. So if you can put it, cancel. Let me go back here. When I go here, there's a small app drawer that you can't download apps as Android. We want to keep it secure. Everybody wants, I want to put this on there, I want to put that on there. Security is a big deal for me, and I know for school districts. So we don't put a lot of things on it to make sure Johnny and Sally don't get out to things that they're not supposed to see. But it does have an office reader on it. So if you do have a PDF or a PowerPoint or a Word document that you want to put on a thumb drive, it will read it and open it and allow you to use that to go through your presentation versus having your laptop connected. There's a lot of flexibility how you can use it, connected or not connected. And if you need to annotate and show something, just remember this, over any input. This includes a VCR. So yes, you see this. Don't know if they're still around in this district or not, but they are.
A few teachers have them.
Everybody somewhere has a VCR that plays Bill Nye the Science Guy because they're not getting rid of those tapes. There you go. You can run a VCR on it. So you can pause it, put 2 fingers on the board, bring up your annotation toolbar, and you can write over any input with red, green, black, come on, black. So you get 3 colors to write with. You can save that annotation internally to the board and then export it to a thumb drive later to distribute to the students. But say you want to put something, say you want to put your laptop up here. All right, let's just show you this. Who used the freeze function on their projector? Okay. You have that. So I'm going to pull this up. Finger, pen, plus button. Right? So now I've got that one page that I've put up there and I want the students to continue to look. It's on the screen. I froze it.
So the pen and the plus, and that does it.
Pen and the plus. But you gotta do the, I do this, I'm watching you, my mother used to do. Or the Viewsonic V. However you wanna put it. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.